Hi, everybody, and welcome to another one of my interviews. Today, I'll be interviewing the actress Teri Reeves. Yeah, I just hope that you all enjoy it. And here's the interview. I think it's on the other side. But, anyways, you understand. Here's the interview. I hope that you guys enjoy it. First of all, I just wanted to thank you for your time and for doing this. I truly appreciate it, and I'm very excited for it.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
The first question that I have for you is how or when did you realize that you wanted to be an actress?
I was a little girl, and my dad and I, the way we bonded was watching movies together. He worked a lot and wasn't home very much. And he would come home, he was always too tired to talk. So our love language became movies and old black and white movies. And so part of me, I think, wanted to be one of those actresses that my dad wanted to see on screen or on stage. And there was one movie called The Philadelphia Story starring Katharine Hepburn. And she was just this ferocious, strong, smart woman. And I thought, I want to be like that girl. So from that movie with my dad, I decided I wanted to be Katharine Hepburn when I grew up, which I realized meant I wanted to be an actress.
Do you have any inspirations?
Acting inspirations?
Anything that inspires you?
That's if you're opening it up, that's incredible. I
Mhm.
love being outside in nature. I love music. I'll pick different genres depending on the character I'm creating. I love history, and learning about the time periods in which a piece was written. I love psychology, learning about why certain people think, talk, act, and behave and feel the way they do. And I love hearing people's stories. So people's stories are my biggest inspiration. Even if their story is one that they imagined, if that story has a purpose, it's the story that just ignites me, because then I get to get into imagination and get inside someone else's shoes and their brain, and it just gives me new frontiers to think about that are not just my own. Right? I love being exposed to new stories. That was a long answer to a good question.
I really loved it.
Good.
um, how do you prepare for your roles? And also, it's your preparation. I know that you've done theater too, so I was wondering if your preparation for a theater role is different from the one that you do for TV or you know.
Hmm. I approach all my roles generally the same way, where I try to make the character come alive within me, where it feels like I am living inside of their story in a true way. I draw upon my own life a little bit more in television because it happens so quick, and because the scenes don't complete the whole character's story. Oftentimes you just get a little snippet from their life. So I find a way that I can relate to that one specific experience, knowing what I know. But with theater and with longer films, I do a lot of backstory research, preparation, historical research, and then I build character memories from their childhood that influences the way that they're behaving now. And then theater, the added element there is I have to prepare my body as an instrument, where I have to do vocal warm-ups and physical warm-ups, so I'm able to fill a space. It takes a lot of energy to fill a theatrical space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you had any mishaps on stage?
Yes. I guess my favorite one was I was doing a Shakespeare play, and Shakespeare, you can't it's the play I was doing was written in rhythm and rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
And so I forgot my line. And you can't in some plays you can make stuff up, but you can't make up Shakespeare. So in the middle of this dramatic moment, I just look at the audience and I go, I totally forgot my line. And it was such an authentic confession that they burst out laughing. It was such an incredible mishap of a moment. And then I got back into character, and then I finished the play, and it was fun. So it ended up being a happy accident. Yeah.
And how do you prepare for auditions?
Same way I prepare for a role, I just do it as quickly as I can, where I imagine the memories that are influencing the person to behave the way they are in the scene. I look at the other characters in the scene and determine what kind of relationship my character has with them. So this person is my lover in this scene. This person is my enemy in this scene. And then I get more specific. What about them makes me feel and react this way? So I guess for auditions too, I really have to imagine the other people. Whereas when you're on set, the people are right in front of you that you're acting with. So that's the added element of auditioning, and imagining the space where everything is taking place. Because in an audition room, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Right. You're reading with a woman playing several men, or you're reading inside an office and you're in that set on the top of the Twin Tower buildings, or, so you have to use a lot of extra imagination. So you build that world before you audition, or I do. I try.
Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with your nerves before an audition or maybe doing a performance?
I acknowledge them. I don't try to fight them, but I also try to redirect the energy into the character's emotional life. Maybe the character's nervous, or maybe maybe they're sad, and I can incorporate the nerves and use that active energy and turn it into sadness. So the more I imagine myself in the character's circumstances and their feelings, the more the nerves become used instead of taking over. I take over them as a tool. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I have sweaty armpits, and that's just there, and I just let it be. Mm-hmm. I try to take deep breaths. So when I'm nervous, I talk quickly and my face gets really tense. So I try to relax my face. I think physically about how to calm my body down, right? Little tools like that.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite part of being an actress? Sorry.
Working with a team of other creative people and becoming part of creating a story together. Mm-hmm. So I love that exchange of energy and creative ideas. And, the costumer gives me information about my character. My acting partners give me information, the director, the lighting designer, all of it is, you're creating something together as a team. So you get to be a unit of imagination, which is really fun.
Mm-hmm. And what would be for you the hardest part of being an actress?
Working overnight outside in the freezing cold, or during the day in the beating hot sun. It's always the long hours in really tough weather conditions that get me. It's a physical drain. I mean, actors are on set for hours and hours and hours doing takes over and over in some tough conditions sometimes. So that's the hardest part, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know that you also I did a little bit of research about you, and I saw that you're also a personal trainer, and you also have your own blog. So I was wondering how do you balance between your acting job and all of those other obligations that you have to do and other jobs maybe?
That's a great question. What's beautiful about it's beautiful. That's not the right word. I discovered with my acting career, even when I am doing well, there are still pockets of time when I am free. And as a human being, I have a lot to offer, and I want to use all of my capacity, and found personal training to be a fulfilling way to do that, and be a schedule that I can shift and use with my clients. They all know I'm an actress, and I might have to go away for 2 weeks and come back. Mm-hmm. And then what was the other thing I'm juggling? Oh, my blog. The blog, I mean, acting is part of it. I meet people on set where I'm like, I want to know your relationship to beauty. The blog is about beauty and women's relationship to that word. And it started as an actress, we are told from what we're looking at on screen what beauty is, right? And a lot of actors struggle with their weight or wrinkles on their face, or some of them say I embrace myself, or their skin color, right? It's all part of the mix. And so my blog, and then same with personal training, right? People that are training for fitness, sometimes are doing it for because they don't like their bodies. And I want to get at the root of that and say, why is it possible to train for fitness and love our bodies and do it because we want to be good to ourselves. And then in acting, our bodies are tools, they're expressions, they're artistic expressions. They're not something to be beaten into some sort of submission and look a certain way. So my blog is connected to both of those worlds. And when I interview people, it's only an hour long, and then I work on it on my days when I have time. And it's a gift. It's not a task.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Is there any piece of advice you wish you received before joining the arts industry?
Is there any advice I wish I had received?
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it. I just didn't listen. I wished I had listened better. I'm not sure how to answer that question, because it was really it was tough for me at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into audition rooms thinking, please pick me. I want this job so bad. And the advice I wish I had listened to was, you go in the room and you offer them what you have to have, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the outcome isn't in your control, and they will pick you or not pick you, sometimes not based on your talent. Mm-hmm. And find other things in your life that give you worth or define your worth, so that when you're walking in the audition room, them picking you or not has nothing to do with whether you're a person of worth or not. People told me that. I just wish I had listened. And then I've learned it. I've learned it now.
Mm-hmm. Well, like my other question, it was related actually to the series Chicago Fire. I know that you were like in that series, and I know you from there actually.
Yeah.
And I know you weren't there like for a long time, but I was wondering like how was your experience there, and how was it like working with all of those actors? And yeah, I'm a huge fan of the series. That's why I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of my experience, man. That was one of the happiest times of my life. We all relocated temporarily to Chicago, and I was in the pilot. So we were all brand new. And so it was like going to acting creative artist camp together. So we all got really close. We spent time together offset. We, creating characters. We spent time with real firefighters and EMTs, shadowing them in their real life jobs to learn about what our characters are like in real life. We got to hang out with the writers of the series and kind of, talk about, well, what if my character ended up this way? It just felt like such a collaborative time and a bonding time, because we were all like fish out of water without our families nearby, And then Chicago is just a really fun city. It was just a fun city. So I got to explore that city. And yeah, I loved it so much. And the other actors on that show are such good people. They're hilarious. They're deep feeling. They're passionate people. They're silly. They're goofy. I loved them all. They were great.
Then I asked like some other fans of the show if they wanted like to ask you any questions about it, and there was a guy who actually gave me this question, which was like I can find the word. Sorry. I can't remember. Okay, so like imagining that your character actually didn't die, how do you think, or how would you have liked that her life would have continued like in the series itself?
I don't. That's a fun question. I think I would have loved if she and Casey got back together and became kind of this heroic saving team, where I would be the doctor that the firefighters would always take their patients to, and I would be the one that would know how to treat burns. Like I would just be part of that team of rescuers. So where she got into the nitty gritty, and then we'd of course have to have a big fight scene with Dawson. And then Uh, and then maybe Casey and I would have babies together, and that would complicate things, and all of that sort of home life drama stuff like that. I think that would have been fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Also, one of my friends, she's also a fan of Once Upon a Time. So she had a question for you, which was,
Yeah.
how was it like filming in the set of Once Upon a Time, where most of it is basically like green screen, and there are like like a lot of special effects are used, and
Yeah.
how did you act like in that kind of environment?
Well, first of all, they shoot in Vancouver. And speaking of the hardest thing about working working as an actress, they shot like into the night, in the middle of the forest, in the middle of winter, in the middle of a rainstorm, right? So you're dealing with the elements and trying to stay warm. But the crew and the cast are amazing. So with the green screen stuff, I got so good at imagining the world in auditions, where you're looking at a white wall and pretending there's a whole forest behind you, that I would create the character's reaction in my mind. The Scarecrow was one of the green screen characters. And so I would imagine what he looked like in my brain reacting to me. And so my imagination would feed me. Because there's some little, script, they call them scripties offside, reading that character's lines. And, they don't have any emotion in their voice. They're just right. So I have to really use my imagination. And then it's technical too, where you practice that energetic imaginary exchange on your own in like your bedroom when you're memorizing your lines. Mm-hmm. So it becomes more and more real. It's funny. You feel a little silly because you're like reacting to nothing. You do feel a little silly, but you get over it, because a lot of acting is, you can either feel super silly or you could just be your character.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we have to do weird stuff like cry. Or kiss someone that you're not, you love, but you're not physically attracted to. We do weird stuff all the time. Yeah.
And then the last question that I had for you, I always ask this question at the end because I don't know, I'm just very curious about it. And is, what advice would you give to someone who would like to be an actor in the future?
Oh. Get to know who you are really well. Get really secure in your own self-worth. Then go study people, go read books, go watch movies, go to an acting teacher that challenges you and stretches you, but doesn't cut you down. Go practice, go shoot that short film for free. Get on set, whenever you can, and practice and have fun. You're not going to be perfect every take. You're not going to be perfect every rehearsal. That's part of the process. You got to embrace the process and allow it to be clunky. And allow the clunkiness to be your teacher, and find fun in it. Find fun in it.
Yeah, I really love that. So thank you so much.
Good. Oh, I loved your questions. Thank you, 𝐷𝐶𝐴.
Thank you so much once again for your time and for answering all the questions so well. It was literally an honor to meet you and interview you. You're really awesome, and I loved talking to you.
I love talking to you too, 𝐷𝐶𝐴. Will you let me know when you put the interview out so I can chat with the folks? Okay,
I definitely will.
You have a good rest of your day or night.
Yeah, day. You too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.